All right, what's up, my brothers? So, in this sponsored video, I got a request from a young man who's 21 and he's basically rock bottom. Ground zero is what he calls it. So, let's see what his issue is. Let's hop right into it. He says, "Hey, Rich, love what you do. Your videos are giving me insight on what it is to chase excellence. Who I am. Just turned 21, born and raised in Southwest Missouri, 5'7", 154 pounds. I'm a frequent at the gym and I work overnights in a warehouse making 16 bucks an hour, but I'm still unhappy with my wages." And he goes on to say, "I was never a great student, but I went to college because my parents wanted me to." Well, dude, you went to college, probably ended up with debt. Now you're working a warehouse job. What did you go to college for? After some serious discussion with them, I dropped out because I felt as though I was wasting time if I had no goal. And the stress on my mother was no longer worth it. Okay, what did you go to college for again? Anyway, finances. I don't have an extensive employment history, but I've worked at McDonald's for 3.5 years. That I will never get back, and a warehouse since September of 2021. I have savings accounts, a Roth IRA, a 401k, and I've been investing in stocks. Little return in 2 years. I still live with my parents, but I want to save money for a down payment on a house. In regards to a financial status, I'm doing better than my parents were at my age. All right, and he goes on to talk about role models. My father left when I was young. My stepfather came along and raised me. My father found out another man was raising his child and wanted to be involved. I'm grateful for the sacrifice my stepfather made, and my father has grown as a person. Sadly, they're not the role models I'd like to have. One didn't take responsibility. The other had to focus on a family in his late 20s. Romance. The two serious girlfriends I've had were awful. One cheated while living with me and my family. The other stayed in contact with her ex. She didn't cheat on me, but we hooked up and she gave me hope of getting back together. Both of them had a lot of male friends. I just finished the red flags chapter in your book, and boy, was I an idiot or what. Let me just quickly throw up the banner because if you guys haven't got my book, you can get the chapter on red flags for free just by opting into my email list. So I'll just leave that down there. You definitely want to get your head around what to vet for when dealing with women. So he goes on and says, after this, I deleted all my posts on social media because the reality is nobody really gives a shit about things I post. I was a weird kid in school, but thank God I was given the chance to improve. Now people don't even recognize me. I realize that in this town, as a general statement, most women my age are either country girls, and I'm not a cowboy, or party girls that smoke themselves stupid every night, which I also do not want. If I want a long-term relationship, I have to leave. Conclusion. Maybe, at least in my eyes, my problem is that I don't know what I'm chasing. What am I passionate about, how to capitalize off it, and when do I figure it out, and how to spot quality women? All right, well, let's just close this up here because we've covered most of the stuff that needs to be dealt with. So you're asking where to go from basically nowhere. Well, first of all, the things that make a man, like make a man useful, attractive, to the opposite sex in society, are not that long of a list, really, to be honest with you. The 7 main things are being unplugged, so being red pill aware, having your looks sorted out, so you've looks maxed, you've got your money taken care of. Now, at 21, you're not expected to be a millionaire. By 40, 50, you should have your money sorted out. I mean, I always tell guys to aim to be a millionaire by the time they're 40, right? To have your money sorted by that point. But you want to lay the groundwork. So we've got unplugged from society's lies, so red pill aware, looks, we've got money. Status is important, when it comes to making something out of yourself. Do people recognize you as being a man of some significance? Women love it. I mean, we know that guys with blue check marks on social media apps like Instagram, already have social proof. They already have the status sort of thing. The 5th thing is game. Of course, understanding what women respond to and applying it, to your life. And you can use game not just, in long-term relationships and dating, friends with benefits, marriage. It doesn't matter what it is. People, when I say people, I mean men generally speaking, can use game on interactions they deal with in business transactions, at the office, when they're at the medical clinic, with their mom, with their daughter. There's like it's not just exclusive and limited to getting the girls, which is what most guys tend to focus on. There's a lot more to game than just that. And then there's, of course, frame, meaning that you're not bending the knee and yielding to everything and every demand that that a woman makes. In every relationship, the one person enters the other person's frame. And it's incumbent upon you to make sure when you're dealing with women that she enters your frame, meaning she's going to defer to you for anything and everything, pretty much, at the end of the day. And then the seventh thing is, of course, captivation, meaning you're not boring. I covered all of these in a longer podcast on the Unplugged Alpha series, which I'll put a card up on the top right. So you should probably watch that to get a little more in-depth insight on those 7 points. But if you're starting at ground zero, making minimum wage in a warehouse overnight, living in a small town where your dating prospects aren't that good, well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter where you drop a high value man. A high value guy will get great results, doesn't matter where he lives. You can put him in Southwest Missouri, Alaska, I don't know, South Dakota. It doesn't matter where you drop him. You can put him in LA or New York City or Miami, right? It doesn't matter where you drop him, he's going to do well. He's going to do well with women. He's going to do well to build a nice network. He's going to do well to earn money. He'll figure it out. The thing is that you're at the very bottom, so you've got to get started. Your parents don't sound like the greatest role models, if we're being honest, but that's okay. There's lots of really, really good material out there that's, been collected over the years and put out there in a form of books, just over my shoulder over here. I don't know if you've read my book from cover to cover, but definitely get the Unplugged Alpha. It's on Amazon. That's always pinned below in the top comment. And that deals with the framework basically around your mindset so that you can start doing things that are going to get you closer to the sort of results that you want. You obviously want to make something out of yourself, which is good. Now it's time to start acting. Working a minimum wage job for another 3 years is not a good use of your time. I think you've already recognized that. And I think that you're hoping for or asking for more out of life for yourself. So your next step needs to be, all right, well, what is my next step? And if you don't know what that is, one of the things that I recommend guys can do is basically go on a walkabout, explore, figure out what it is that you want to do with your life. Locking yourself down in a little part of the world and never leaving it or never exploring other parts of the world. Travel is something that has been basically ripped from us the last couple of years because of this manufactured, pandemic. Get out there if you're able to travel and see what the world has to offer. You can burn through a little bit of that money to sort of, try to figure those things out. Don't worry about women too much. I know that, as a young guy and you're probably healthy and you've got good testosterone levels, especially if you're lifting weights and going to the gym, so you want to be around women, you want to be intimate with them, that's fine, do it. But don't let a woman define you. Definitely don't go and start simping or putting them up on a pedestal when what you really need to do is figure out what kind of life it is that you want to build for yourself, and then doing the things every single day that are fully aligned with building that life. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I've linked a few books that I recommend in my recommending reading list. Again, pinned in the top comment, there's a link to my Amazon recommended reads. There's stuff in there in the business category, entrepreneurship, self-care, understanding evolutionary psychology. So, why there's these desire dynamics between men and women that I've essentially distilled in my book. Consume that. If you're working in a warehouse, let's say, and you don't need to interact with people on a frequent basis, or you have a job where you have to drive an hour or something like that to and from where it is you got to do things, turn that time in an opportunity to learn. Get yourself an Audible membership on your phone, listen to podcasts, download the audiobooks and listen to them. And get started there. I didn't come from an entrepreneurial family. Okay, I got nothing from my parents as far as advice, useful, actionable information. I think probably the best piece of advice that I got from my parents was something along the lines when my mom said, if you want to be successful and wealthy in the world, money can either make you more money or people can make you more money, meaning become an employer and start a business or get into investing. Ideally, once you've figured out one of those, and you can generally do both so that you're well diversified. But I didn't get a lot in the way of good advice from my parents. I got most of it from books, to be honest with you, reading books, biographies on entrepreneurs. I read copious amounts of books on guys like Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, to name a few. I mean, if you have a guy that you admire out there, success leaves clues. So see what they've done and then try to replicate what they've done and get serious about applying it to your life and get started soon. I mean, it's great that you're young and that you want to do this now. So now's the time to act. So, you know, the next step for you is just to begin. So again, watch that podcast episode on the top right where I talk about those 7 attraction cues that basically level guys up. They are, again, unplugging, so you're red pill aware, looks, money, status, game, frame, and being captivating. Again, not being boring. So again, check out that podcast. And if you guys want to make a request for a video similar to this, the link is also pinned below. You can go check that out. And hope you guys have an awesome day. If some of you have some experience and you'd like to chime in, that's what the comment section's for. I know a lot of guys that sponsor these videos and make the requests will always go back in there to see what other people have to offer beyond the advice that I dispense. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace out.